control, also known as contraception or family planning, is the oldest and most effective way to prevent unwanted pregnancy. Today on the show, we're talking about the impact of birth control and the role of men. My name is Rachel Isaac. I am your girl Ray Ray, and you are welcome to the show where we give you nothing but good vibes. Welcome to Vibe Cafe.
And my name is Eric Wanso, and before we continue on the show, we will go on a quick break and we'll be right back. Welcome back to the Vibe Cafe show, the show where we give you nothing but good vibes. And like my co-host Rachel said earlier, we'll be talking about the impact of birth control and role of men. And to discuss this topic in the studio with us is Kingsley Obom-Egbulem, media specialist, social entrepreneur, and author of the book When Fishes Climb Trees. What an interesting title, I must say. Welcome to the show, sir.
It's so good to have you on the show
Before
today.
we continue the conversation, what would you like to drink? Water, juice, wine?
Water.
Okay, water is fine.
Okay, so you do a lot of things. You're a media specialist, social entrepreneur, and author. But the one that got me very interested is the media specialist part. So what does it mean to be a media specialist, really?
Actually, what I do is work with the media to provide solutions, most especially to social problems.
Okay. So how do you juggle all these things? You know, you're an entrepreneur, media specialist, and then you have time to write books for people. How do you juggle all three together?
Passion. I think passion creates the time. So once you're passionate about it, you will create the time for it.
Okay, so now let's go straight into the topic of today, the impact of birth control and the role of men. So let's talk about the first part, which is the impact. What impact has birth control had on the society?
Yeah, beyond the nitty-gritty of family planning and contraception, birth control is a development tool. In other words, it is a concept where you apply in developing a society. And why did I say that? Because every society has what I call the carrying capacity. For instance, if you are in a classroom, and the classroom, the space is designed for 10 students, what will happen when you have 20 students in that class? You're already thinking about the chaos, isn't it? Now, if you have a conditioning system designed for 10 students and you have 20 students in that class, what will happen?
Too hot.
Very hot. So, for you to take in 20 students, what do you need to do? You need to expand the space of the classroom. You need to increase the cooling system of the classroom. You need to probably have one more teacher, isn't it? Because one teacher is supposed to handle 10 students. So if you're having 20 students, you need to have extra teacher because there is a need for capacity. And what is capacity? You will understand capacity better when you put on your, let's say, your 5 kVA generator. And you want that 5 kVA to power your laptop. That generator can power 50 laptops without blinking, 2 of us.
True.
So imagine when you plug 20 air conditioner on your 5 kVA generator, what will happen?
I think we already have an idea.
So that is what is happening in Nigeria at the moment. There are too many people in Nigeria, and the carrying capacity of our country is like a generator trying to power 5 steam irons and 20 air conditioner. The generator is going to cough, and you hear that, and you say, please put off the gen. So we need either extra generators, or we do what? We disconnect what the generator is powering.
I read somewhere in the Asian community where in a particular country where
China.
Yes, where it's reduced to 1 child per family.
Oh,
and
yeah.
how do you do that in this climate? Because a lot of times Africans like to have so many kids. A lot of times they can't take care of the kids, but they just want to have it because they feel like it's a joy to just have so many kids. You know, how do you think we can bring that, not just reduce it to 1, but you know, in terms of capacity, how do you do that?
There is a failure in our public communication system. Every society has its myths, superstition, and misconception. But you use communication to solve that problem. You get. So if we have issues, cultural issues that is impeding access to birth control, you use communication to solve it. You get the point? China they have their own cultural problems. But China, the economy of China was literally on its knees. And they realized that they are carrying too many people that the economy cannot sustain. And they had to bite the bullet, which is the problem we have in this space. We have a problem facing reality. Everybody is sentimental, everybody is emotional, and we can't feed ourselves. So China had to be straight up. And they told themselves, look, if we don't do X, Y, Z, a time will come, we'll be eating each other.
It's still a man's world in this part of the world where you get married and they keep asking you, when are you going to bring up a child? So what role do men play, or what role does society play in actually helping to encourage birth control? Because a lot of times you get married now, tomorrow somebody's like, when are you having kids? What if I'm not ready, or I don't, you know? How?
Now we're hitting the bullseye. So the role that men will play in that regard is what I call re-socialization. We need to start to talk to ourselves that you are not a father because you are able to impregnate a woman and have a child. You are a father if you can raise a child to become an asset.
Okay. So now let's talk about the role men play when it comes to birth control, really.
We're already on
yes,
that.
because we're going somewhere else. We're going about pressure when it comes to getting married and having kids. I want us to take it from the angle of how do we encourage men to also be a part of this? How do we encourage men to take pills? How do we encourage men to go for is this sterilization?
No,
I'm looking for
yes.
That is one of the rungs.
Okay.
The first rung on the ladder is coming to terms with the fact that men are the custodians of the norms and the values of a society.
Okay.
And that is the truth. We run a patriarchal system.
Okay.
And until that system is redefined, men will continue to, set the tone, whether it is birth control, whether it's politics, whether it's business. Most businesses, even though a business that is owned by a woman, you see, if you check it, you'll still find out that most men call the shots there.
Okay.
So it is the man who will first of all agree that, hey, there is a need for us to plan this family.
Okay.
You get it? No matter what the woman talks about family planning, if the man says no, sorry. If the man says, I want 10 children,
Okay.
if you can't give him 10, if you give him 2, he's going to look for the 8 as well.
Okay.
So we need to come to terms as men that the population explosion in this country is as a result of the actions or inactions of men. That is the truth.
Okay, so how do you think men can be encouraged to get involved with playing roles that would help to solve the problems of unwanted pregnancy? Because that's the angle where we can take it from. Because it's one thing for us to have men who say, this is how I want to run my family. It's another thing to have men who know that having too many kids could result in a lot of unwanted pressure in the society.
In a national catastrophe, which is
Yes.
what we have now.
Yes.
Sorry, by 2050,
Okay.
will be 400 million. Where are you going to put...
I mean, he's estimating futuristic.
No, it's an estimate based on our
now,
birth rate.
So how do the government come in? How do we enact policies to stop it? Like the way you have in China, where you have,
How do we enact
policies? How does the government come in?
No, your question should be, why have we not enacted policies?
I think
because the how is not
cultural
rocket science. It's not rocket science, Let's say you live in a flat. If you are the only person in that flat, we can predict what that place will look like. Isn't it?
The outcome, management.
Yes, your food will be enough. Those are your TV, your lights. Now, 6 months after, you have 8 people living in that flat with you. Now, if I tell you that, Rachel, in 6 months' time, you will have 8 people living with you, and you don't have a choice, you need to do something, what would you do?
Get a bigger place.
Fantastic.
Put things in place, basically.
More rooms, more food, water.
That's it.
The bills you pay will be increased. You guys find a way to share it.
Now, if you say, hey guy, I don't need to have these 9 people or 8 people you want to force on me. What can I do about it? Well, you can negotiate. In 6 months, you're expecting 9 people, 8 people. But if you do something, you will have 4 people. Okay, I think I'll prefer 4 people. In other words, I don't have to move into a bigger apartment or a larger apartment. This apartment can take these 4 people as it is. I think I have enough food right now that I'm not eating. So when they come, I don't need more food. What I have now will take care of them. That is called planning, which we hardly do in this country. We wake up and we trust God. And we run to places where they don't trust God. They use their brains to plan and know that if we don't do something, there's going to be catastrophe. So they start to plan. There are countries where they've planned for people who would never be born until 50 years' time. As we'll finish having them, we'll start planning. And the same thing, you have a man. It's a culture. You have a guy, he's gotten married. He has impregnated his wife. The woman has 9 months to deliver, isn't it? And the guy is dancing zanku and shaku shaku.
Instead of making plans.
9 months is here, and the guy is running. Hello, oh boy, I bet if you borrow me something, my wife will soon born. Damn, you had 9 months. You saw this woman's tummy every day for 9 months, and the 9th month you're running around looking for money. So that is the culture that we've taken to the streets, to the public places. So that is why we can't sit down and plan, and that is why we're where we are today. But like they say, the best time to plan was yesterday, isn't it? The next best time to plan is when? Today. So what are we doing now? We're still
Hoping and trusting God.
I'm waiting.
Yet people are getting married, people are having sex, people having kids.
More kids, more and more kids.
Nothing is improving. Our systems are not, we're not building more roads, we're not building more schools, we're not building more universities. And you know by force of nature that if you attend a naming ceremony, you are bound to attend a wedding ceremony, isn't it?
Thank you so much, Mr. Kingsley. It was great having you on the show. Thank you for gracing our screens. Okay, so how do people hit you up and reach out to you if they have to?
On Instagram, and I am at Uncle Kingsley. On Twitter, I am Kingsley257.
Okay, you all have heard from Uncle Kingsley. We'll go on a quick break. Where we come back, it'll be time for the lifestyle segment. Stay with us. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back. It is time for the lifestyle segment of the show where we bring you nothing but good vibes. This is the Vibe Cafe Show. Now, on today's episode or today's segment of lifestyle, we'll be talking about the evolution of fashion. What we're simply talking about is how fashion has grown from what it used to be to what it is now. And as you can see, I am fully representing my ladies in the 80s with my afro hair, with my weird shoes, and them dungarees, you know. I thought of a better way to infuse that back then and now. Yes, and then I came up with this outfit.
I really like
and
it.
You,
It
how
look
would
nice.
how would you define what you're wearing?
My shoe is vintage. I don't know what era, 70s, 80s. Vintage never goes out of style. My shirt is also 70s.
Vintage,
yeah,
yeah.
It's very oversized. There was a time when people like to wear those
Even
oversized
till now,
shirts.
even till now.
People mix it. And then my pants is like I don't know, just a mixture of different things of different
Okay, so
eras.
guys, fashion has evolved. It's grown from what it used to be. From when people used to wear dungarees, people used to wear a lot of afros,
baggy trousers.
and when people used to wear baggy
You remember all
trousers,
those
big
big
shirts,
shirts? Yes.
and all. Used to have like black makeup on. I didn't want to go
I
back
pencil
there.
that goes that
I
way.
had pencil that goes that way, really tiny pencils. Big gigantic
hoop
earrings and
yeah.
all. I mean, I fear for my ears, so I'd rather just keep it simple.
Yeah.
And then, so it's gone from that to what it is now. Now we have a lot of trendy outfits, short dresses, urban,
Only cool
couture,
skirts,
and all. And yeah.
And then also people infusing, even when they go for events or like maybe like traditional weddings and all, people have like a tiaja, they mix it with their outfit, or they wear like English and they have a cap. So it's just a mixture. But I also think that much as fashion is evolving, there are still some things that still come back.
Yes, a lot has come back. A lot has come back.
Yeah.
Like you see a lot of people doing afros now. Bella Davis on How to Get Away with Murder. She flaunts her afro so well. And of course, Solange Knowles, that's Beyonce's sister. Yes, you even see people doing cornrows. Like it's
box
coming
braids.
back. Box braids and all of that. It is indeed.
Even guys are going back to doing sporty waves.
Yes,
and
guys,
all of that.
You see some TV shows where Ghost
does
sporty waves, and I'm like, what? Are we eating
Are we in the 90s?
Like, I don't understand. And wedges now these days, dungarees are coming back too.
I also feel like much as it's important to be fashionable and all, comfort is very key. I think one of the things I hear a lot of women say about wedges, for instance, that it's very comfortable. They can walk in it, they can do anything in it. And then this, your dungarees that you're wearing, is I can imagine you're comfortable in it. And you can always go anywhere with it and you still look stylish and you still stand out. I really love that about, fashion from that era to this particular.
And another thing that has also evolved and has come back, I was going to say it's coming back, but has come back is, I'm sure that over 50% of ladies in Lagos are on their natural hair. And when I say natural hair, they've transitioned from permed hair, relaxed hair to keeping their natural hair. Like everywhere, like you're on social media today, you see a lot of women, how to transition, how to take care of your natural hair, all the styles that you can do. And you can do almost anything. So it's just as though you have your permed hair that you can use for anything, and then you have your natural hair. Now, the good thing about having your natural hair is that you can do whatever you want to do with it. You can straighten it to give that illusion that it is permed. And then when you're done, you pour water. It gets back.
Enter your hair and you
back to
relax.
what
Yeah,
it
true.
is
And it's even
originally.
less stressful and sometimes less expensive.
It is not less expensive.
Yeah, I mean, it's really like, would you want to compare it to actually trying to fix weave and everything? Or wait to go and sit down?
It is not less expensive. It is more expensive to maintain, actually.
But it's
But then again, it's a way of showing how natural or how beautiful, how thick. We black girls, we have thick hair, thick, black, rich hair. I mean, it's high time we started
embrace
yeah, it's high time we actually do justice to our natural hair, basically. Okay, so now, another thing that has come back that is, should I say, finding its way back into our lives in the fashion scene or fashion sense, are boyfriend jackets. Or boyfriend shirt. Back in the day when you go to your boyfriend's house or when your girlfriend comes to your house, she wants to go to bed, she's wearing your shirt. Now, ladies are saving those shirts for when you go out. It's not just your lady wearing your shirt in the bedroom. Now, you see them when they're going out, they just wear the big shirts and use a belt or something and wear maybe a shirt. Like, there's so much going on.
Even bandanas now. Guys are bringing bandanas are coming back, do-rags are coming back, baggy pants, So it's like, because fashion is still a cycle. It goes,
a cycle at the end of the day.
And comes. So it's, much as it evolves, it's still, some things just never leave.
Okay, so another thing that could help is when you're not sure of how to infuse fashion back then with what it is now, you can go online, check for how to mix and match these things, and it's not expensive. I'm telling you, there are times when I check my grandmother's bag and I see a lot of stuff that I wear these things and I say, where did you get this fabric from? Where did you get that from? I'm like, oh yes, some vintage shop, and now my grandmother's bag, I'm telling you, there's so much. Another thing that is also in vogue now are turtleneck shirts. Have you noticed?
Yeah, a lot of guys
you can mix it with anything, wear it on Ankara, you can wear it on anything.
But at the end of the day, when you're wearing it, wear it when it is not so sunny.
Apart from wearing it when it's not too sunny, wear it how you're supposed to wear it. Don't know wear that people not saying, must it be that bad? Do you understand? So a lot has happened. You can also go online, check the evolution of fashion and everything. You read up, know how to, especially for stylists. Now, the things that would make you stand out as a stylist is the ability to infuse fashion from every era.
I also think that's the thing I like about Queen. Queen the singer, she's always infusing African and, vintage pieces. So even Adekunle Gold does the same thing, infuse it into his fashion. So find a way to infuse it. It might not be everything at once. It can maybe just be the hair, it could just be the shoe, it could be the trousers or the shirt or the gown. Just find a way to infuse it. It could be like the hoop earrings you're talking about. You can just infuse it to something you're wearing. Just, add color and just bring back that era. and stand out, because it always makes you stand out. People always go back, oh, yeah.
It just reminds me of Rihanna. Rihanna knows how to, Rihanna knows how to
infuse.
mix and match, infuse old school,
Solange.
new school, big dresses, big blazers,
Beyonce
on
does
pants.
that.
Yes.
Yes.
Sometimes Beyonce does, yes.
Yeah, Solange as well.
Alrighty, this is the much you can take on this segment. You're not going nowhere. Stay tuned, because coming up next is the Vibe segment.
Welcome back. It's still the Vibe Cafe show, where we give you nothing but good vibe. It's been an interesting episode so
Very
far.
interesting.
And our vibe for today is
To take responsibility,
Responsibility.
basically, take responsibility for your actions. You know, when we talked about the topic for today, which is the impact of birth control and the role of men, we talked about responsibility. We talked about playing an active role. If you make a decision, see through it, plan. Do you understand? Be the light, be that reason why it would work out. You've made the actions already, or you've made the mistake. See through it and take responsibility. Basically, that's what we're saying.
To be honest, that's it. If you're going to bring kids into the world, be responsible for them. Make sure you raise them to become assets or human resources, like our guest said earlier.
Okay, guys, this is the much we can take on the show today. It's been your favorite show, the show where we bring you nothing but good vibes, Vibe Cafe show. Now, do not also forget that you can be a part of the conversation on any of our social media platforms at Vibe Cafe Show. My name is Rachel and I'm Isaac.
And I am Eric Wanto, and that's all we can take for today. So come your way. Peace.